Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's been 1 hour since the party. Not really anyone's here so far, and people keep on going to the store to go get her a ton of gifts. And I told you guys that we were gonna watch this one. My older brother is very I don't know, I'm not gonna say it. That's boring. Okay, let's watch it. What the heck is going on? No, I can't do it now. I have to look for a different one now. Wait, what? What's this one? No, this one. My evil stepdad. Oh, this one looks even more cool.
Hi, my name is Bianca.
Hi, Bianca.
And I'd like to tell you that not only evil stepmoms exist, I have an evil stepdad, and it's pure hell, believe me. Back when my mom and dad were married, my life was perfect, believe me. Sure, they argued and stuff, but they both cared deeply about me. My dad was so sweet towards me, he loved me so much, and would tell me a story before bedtime every single time. Dad was great. But before we move on, like this video, hit that subscribe button,
Yes, you guys should like
and
and subscribe.
activate the notification bell.
Yes,
This will
notification
let you
bell.
live 20 amazing years longer. Trust me, it works. Well, the thing is, as nice as everything was, my parents did argue, as I said, and more so every single year. It got to a point that all they did was fight. It was kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie, and I'd lock myself in my room and try to pretend nothing was happening. So eventually, they ended up getting a divorce. And it wasn't a quick, easy process. Oh no. In a way, it was even worse than the argument. My mom's lawyer was so mean, and my dad's lawyer smiled like a shark. I didn't like them at all. I wasn't there for most of it since I was a kid, but I now know that horrible things were said, and they really fought like hell to get custody of me. My dad wanted primary custody, but mom ended up being the one to get it. She was getting the house after all, and it was better since I'd be closer to my school and my friends. I was still going to be seeing my dad frequently, so I was okay with that, but it still hurt to have to spend more time with one of them, you know? I cried so much during that time. I felt like I was losing my daddy. Don't worry, I'll still be there for you whenever you need me, and you'll come to my house twice a week, he explained, but it still hurt. Now, did I want to go live with Dad back then? Honestly, I don't know. A while later, the answer would be yes, yes, please, and right now. Anyways, at first, things were okay. Mom was really outgoing, especially after divorcing my father. She wanted to have fun, and once I heard her telling one of her friends, I want to get back all I lost by staying with that loser all that time. So let's go out dancing and get ourselves some hot guys. I was too young to understand what it meant back then, but it still made me feel uncomfortable. She was saying something bad about my dad, and I loved my dad. Mom went on so many dates, and I usually stayed with nannies. I asked if I could go with Daddy instead during the nights. But oh boy, did that make Mom angry at me. No, this isn't the night you spend with your father. You're staying here, she'd say. But you aren't here with me, I replied, protesting. None of it mattered. She still had her date, and I'd stay with the nanny. I mean, she was pleasant and all, but I would have rather been with Dad, you know? Now, I realized that she was trying to get some revenge on my dad. It wasn't about me, it was about him. But I was the one being hurt in the process. As time went by, though, she seemed to get more immature and care less and less about me. It was as if I was an inconvenience rather than her little girl. And then Earl arrived. Earl was the first boyfriend Mom actually brought home. He was neat at first, smart, funny, and kind. He liked spending time with me and brought me small gifts whenever he picked up Mom for a date. Earl started staying over more and more often, to the point that he might have just been living there. Yeah, I had a new dad, and though he was nice, I didn't like it at all. Mom was super in love with him, though she was paying more attention to me now that she wasn't going out dating so often. She still wasn't the same Mom I remembered. Now, as time began to slip by, things began to really change.
Oh my god.
Earl was unnecessarily cruel with really petty things. Like he knew my mom always lost her sunglasses. He would hide them, and when Mom was asking about them, he'd say, "Your daughter was playing with them a while ago." Mom would get super mad at me, and he did this with everything. Makeup, wallet, rings. It was as if everything was my fault, but he was the one setting me up. And of course it sounded insane when I told on him. Mom, it's him. Earl is hiding your things and saying it was me, I protested. But But who on earth would believe a grown man was the one to do such a petty thing?
I'm gonna
Mom
fire it.
scolded me and grounded me.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna turn the lights. So I can tell the difference. Wait, wrong way. Oh my god. One light. Not enough. Two lights. Not enough. Three. Oh my god. Open the window. It makes a weird sound. I don't know why. I'm gonna see now if I can see it better. What's that? I zoomed in. Let me pause it.
All the time, and I began to really hate Earl so much. Things got worse and worse. He seemed unnecessarily cruel, like he just wanted to hurt me for some reason. He never laid a finger on me, but he did everything else to make me feel awful. He would grab my toys, since I was still a preteen girl, and break them. You know how important toys are to kids? It broke my heart. And he'd do it without caring if I begged or pleaded him not to. And to add insult to injury, he would of course blame me for breaking my own toys. And my mom would get super mad at me. Why would you do this? Do you know how expensive your toys are? You are such a spoiled brat. She would scream at me. And I would sob quietly every time. I didn't know what to do. This grown man who was dating my mom had it out for me, for reasons I couldn't even understand. And I couldn't do a thing to change it. Plus, he was super two-faced. Earl works from home, so he was there all the time. All the time. Mom would go out to work, and during that time, he'd be cruel and nasty. He even found out what meals I hated and cooked them for me. Then, when Mom arrived from her shift at work, he turned into the greatest guy in the world. He was so sweet and kind to me then. The guy was really messed up, and I never understood why. Mom wouldn't believe a word I said, since Earl not only had her wrapped around his little finger, but it really did seem like he was so good to me. Whenever anyone at all was around, he turned into this perfect stepfather. So when I protested about his cruelty, I just sounded like a little brat. Earl is so nice to us. He even buys you gifts. But you just want to go back to your father. Why can't you be a bit more grateful? She would tell me. Sure, Earl did buy me things, only to break them and blame me for it. He'd tell my mom. She doesn't like me giving her things, so she breaks everything I buy her to act up. You really need to deal with your daughter's bad attitude. She'll end up growing to be a punk. A criminal. Yeah, he actually said that. I don't know what his problem was with me, but he seemed to hate my guts. Why didn't he date someone without a kid instead of sticking around if he didn't like me being around? I never truly understood it, and of course, he never explained it to me. I told my dad about it, and though he wanted to believe me, he explained there was nothing we could do. Mom had primary custody of me, and I could only visit my real dad a few times a week. Plus, Earl also acted so nice when he was around, so even Dad was a bit fooled by the guy. Are you sure you just don't like Mom having a new boyfriend? Dad asked once, and I began crying. I didn't know what to do to get someone to believe me. I didn't want to live with my mom any longer. She seemed to care more about Earl and having a good time than her daughter. So I decided I was going to do something about it. I started saving up every single penny I got. And I mean everything. I never spent my allowance. And when I became old enough to babysit, I also saved up what I earned. I mowed lawns, and I tutored younger kids and saved every penny. When I finally was able to afford a cute teddy bear with a camera inside, that was when my real plan could begin. I placed the teddy bear in my bedroom and set it to record on certain periods of the day. It was a really cool gadget. Looked like nothing but a toy. It was so much more than that, and that's precisely why it cost me so much money. Anyways, for a whole week, I recorded everything that stupid Earl did to me. How he'd scream at me, degrade me, how he blamed everything on me, and then pretended to be the perfect boyfriend and stepdad. I even recorded him slapping me for the first time ever. It was a traumatic experience, but at least it was recorded. So after the week was over, I waited until it was my time to go to my dad's house. I didn't want to risk Earl discovering the recording and ruining everything. The minute I arrived at my father's house, I showed him everything. He was so shocked. He stared at the screen in disbelief, and I saw his knuckles turn white. Dad was balling his hands into fists, and I was afraid he'd go out there and try to do something very stupid to Earl. Then Dad would go to prison, and I'd be stuck with Mom. But my father was smarter than that. He promised me everything was going to be okay. "Do you trust me?" he asked. And I told him I did. "Then you have to be a bit patient and wait. Pretend everything is normal." "But I want to stay here with you," I protested. "You will, but first you need to do this for me," he explained. So the next day, I returned home to my mom and pretended I hadn't recorded Earl slapping me. It was super hard, but I somehow managed. A week later, Mom had to go back to court since Dad's lawyers requested a hearing. I don't know exactly what happened there, but that night I was told that I would be living with my dad now, and any visit with my mom would be supervised. I couldn't believe it. It was the best news I had heard in years. When my dad came to pick me up, I hugged him so tightly and thanked him for helping me escape the hell I was living in. "I told you to trust me, didn't I, kid?" he asked, and hugged me close. Dad really was amazing, and I know how much it must have hurt to not have me around more often growing up. But now, we'd be able to finally make up for the lost time. Now I live with my dad and Mom. Well, she's slowly getting better. I think that she really loves me, but kind of got lost in her own selfishness. She dumped Earl at least, and that's a step in
I
the
don't
right
even know what to say.
Thanks for watching.
Yep.
Have you
One
ever
more.
been
One more. This one, I don't know what this is. Little girl crying. What is this? The key to Parton Secrets. Okay, I'm gonna put that one. Is this one? Let's go. I usually have my hair up, not today. I hate these ads.
Hello, my name is Joel.
Hi,
I
Joel.
want to share with you my childhood
Joel?
story about how my brother and I did some trash things on our street and how we got caught. There were two sons in our family, me and my twin brother Max. We don't look alike at all, rather like a photograph and its negative. I'm blonde and Max is a typical brunette. But our personalities turned out to be equally crazy. At the time of this story, we were only 12 years old. And in terms of our contact with the opposite sex, everything was at the level of girls are evil and have bows and germs. In general, this is the bright age when cars are more interesting than everything else, and we knew only about sex in the format of jokes among ourselves. And so it happened that in our street, there weren't any girls. Seriously, on the whole street, not a single girl of our age or even younger. Older girls were there, yeah, but we did not talk to them. It was the same at school because our parents thought it was very cool to make us study at the Lyceum for boys. Well, our parents did not bother to tell us about sexual stuff because of this fact. And we didn't ask, still believing that stories bring children. And we lived quite...
I'm gonna turn on one of the lights. That's 3. It's too bright. Which one? It's actually a really cool color. It's green. I want to see it. I want to see which one is good. I usually do it before, but this time I forgot. Okay, that's good.
quietly in our beautiful childhood with cool guns, almost like real ones. A sports ground where we sometimes injured ourselves for a bet, and collecting rare candy wrappers from sweets. Of course, for the most part, our time was spent on lessons, but playing was where we had real fun. Good marks are wonderful, but building an army of robots and fighting against each other is priceless. By the way, the other problem was that there was only 2 of us. We were not very sociable because we had imagination and each other, and for us it was enough. It all started with the game. More precisely, our parents promised us some very cool gifts for the upcoming holidays. But we were bored right now, and we didn't have the willpower to wait another 2 weeks. And what do all normal children do when they are bored? And there are potentially new toys in the house? That's right, we rushed to look for them. By the age of 12, we managed to learn all the parental hiding places. Our parents were not so great at hiding stuff, or just blind to the fact that their secret place had been figured out. Therefore, our plan was simple. The kitchen upper shelves were empty. In the pantry, we searched everything, but found nothing there, too. The interior of the sofa in the living room only had some old blankets and one large spider, which we saved for pranks. And then our imagination failed. because usually parents hid all sorts of things only in these three places. We're in the car, but Dad drove it to work in the morning. And then, Max and I decided to encroach on the holy of holies, the parents' bedroom. In fact, we were strictly forbidden to go in and play there. Well, we were absolutely forbidden from jumping on the bed, delving into the closets, and engaging in other irrational vandalism. But our parents just left us no choice. We searched the bedroom quickly enough. There, in addition to the bedside table with a single father's toenail and two empty nightstands, there was nothing to look at. But the dressing room, a large closet built into the wall, created simply irresistible curiosity. We always tried to play there before, but now, just chance itself had led us there. The closet turned out to be just wonderful. Large enough to accommodate both of us, with a bunch of obscure things from my mother's boxes, warm and perfect to hide from invaders in it. We tried on all of my mother's jewelry until we found with our hands a strange box that was not like anything else. The picture on the box was a strange horse riding with a beautiful whip. It's just a dream of boys to play like real cowboys. For some reason, we immediately decided that here it is, our perfect gift that only two such angels like us could deserve. Naturally, the box was immediately pulled out of the cabinet and disassembled into components. Why not? It was for us, right? We were not even embarrassed that someone would have to change into a frankly strange and uncomfortable horse costume. We just solved the problem with rock, paper, scissors and agreed to swap later. We spent another half an hour trying to figure out how to put it all on ourselves. Another problem was that this suit was obviously too big for any of us, but the strap seems to help us. The funny thing is that it didn't fit us. We just thought that our parents bought a toy for us for a long time that we would eventually grow into, as they usually did with the rest of our things. After some time, Max turned out to be the horse, and I drove him with a whip in my hands in our living room. And then it became boring for us to play in the house, and having changed into the horse, went outside to show this wonderful toy to the masses. The guys really liked our toy. Everyone wanted to try the whip, on each other, on trees and nettles, on each pillar. But the coolest thing was to whip the horse, forcing them to do various circus exercises. And by the time adults began to return home, half of our street managed to be a horse, and then the show began. Adults, only seeing our horse, began to strangely freak out, look away, and even cry a little. We thought that they probably all envy us. We even suggested that one lady measure it too, but for some reason she refused and ran away. I swear I heard her sob until she disappeared into the house, and then we remembered that this is a gift, which means parents will be angry that we found it earlier. And before they returned, we quickly stopped the game, folded the outfit back into the box, and pretended to be very good, well-behaved boys. We even put our homework on the table, so as not to get a long lecture. Our parents returned and did not notice anything at first. They just looked around the house and repeated that today it was as if the whole street had gone crazy. Everyone averted their eyes and laughed, and in the middle of the night, when we pretended to sleep like angels, there was a cry. No, not like a sob. Yelling. A banshee could maybe sound like that. Mourning someone's death. A werewolf in the swamps. A ghost in an old castle. But certainly not our super calm and normal mother. However, after we were dragged from our beds and shouted at, it turned out that no werewolves had been brought to us. The matter was much worse. Our angry, very upset mother shouted at us. She kept asking why we were so bad and what exactly we managed to do while they were at work. Well, we admitted that we found a gift in the closet and played with it a little. A little, just a couple of hours on the street. And just in case, we added that the costume is cool and all the neighbors really liked it. Then, it seemed to me that my mother was starting to burn up. She already had steam coming through her ears like a steam train. But she let us go and quickly ran away somewhere. We didn't understand anything, like, what's the problem? Yes, we are guilty, we are ready to be punished, but why bother us like that? The neighbors began to be very awkward for a while when they saw us, but our parents did not talk about this topic anymore. I also noticed that the adults were somehow staring at our house. But Max said that this was probably not our business, and I forgot about it. And then Mom and Dad walked along the street for a long time like they were scared of people seeing them. Quietly, and without looking back. When the holidays came, we were presented with a wonderful, huge box of Lego. Not a suit. Lego was cool. I built them my sheep castle for a knight and a black dragon, and Max assembled a large robot and said that he would definitely capture my castle for himself. Nevertheless, both of us were tormented by the question, where is the horse? We went to our parents, and we were told that since we were bad boys and found our gift ahead of time, my mother decided to return it to the store. Like, there is no surprise. There is no horse. And defiantly hung the lock on their bedroom door. Well, it was a shame, but generally it was fair. And then we grew up and went to college. Max and I got girls, adult interests, and, well, an understanding of what is going on between a man and a woman. Games remained in a happy and cheerful childhood. Until that same horse costume turned back up in my life. My girlfriend at that time was very fond of all sorts of strange things in bed. And she often went to special shops for adults, spent a lot of money on it, but it's okay if the person likes it, I don't mind. Although, I can't say that I was happy because of all kinds of clamps, corsets, and other torture tools. And for the next holiday, Anne said that something special was waiting for me and disappeared into the bathroom. And came out of it, yeah, in that very horse costume and with a whip in her teeth. Exactly the same as when I was a kid. And then everything made sense. The strange reaction of the neighbors, and even more strange, of my parents. Instead of getting intimate with Anne, I called Max, and half of the night we stupidly laughed at our childish naivete. Now, from an adult perspective, all this really seems gross. Just imagine you come home and in the courtyard there are neighboring boys in a suit for specific role-playing games, and they are having a crazy amount of fun. And what the neighbors thought about our parents, I'm even afraid to imagine. Fair, because when it dawned on me what exactly they needed this costume for, Max and I also stopped laughing and even turned slightly green. Nope, this is definitely not something for us to think about. So, at the age of 12, we accidentally got into the world of adult games, without even knowing about it. And along the way, we buried the reputation of our parents and amused everyone who saw us. But we were children and really didn't understand what was happening, so I think everything is okay.
But who was
Write in the
talking?
comments what strange toys
Literally
you found
did.
in your parents' closets. Put likes if you also think that my brother and I are crazy ones. And remember that children's toys do not come in black shiny latex. Why?
This one?
You will understand later.
My best one.
So, my girlfriend and I had a baby, and I think her ex-boyfriend didn't like that. He literally broke into our house and kidnapped our kid. We need to save our baby! Alright, babe, my little baby, Lil Kyle Jr., is asleep right now.
Okay, what am I doing here?
Okay, babe, here's the thing, alright? I am fairly confident that I can take care of a baby by myself, okay?
You are now.
Yes, but the thing is, there may be an off chance. Yeah, I might be a little bad. So that's why you're here. In case
What
I
makes you
mess
think
up a
that it
little
was
bit.
a good idea to adopt a whole baby?
Well, Carrie, obviously I'm Dylan. And, anything that has to do with Dylan is going to be good. Like adopting a baby. Hashtag Team Dylan. Hashtag Team Boy.
Do you even know anything about babies?
Of course, I know plenty. Babies, come here. Well, you see this house? Okay. I built this entire house just so I could have a baby. This entire house.
Okay.
And you see this room right here? You see this room? Boom!
Yeah.
Toys for the baby.
Oh,
See all
okay,
these
lots
toys?
of toys.
Yeah, you can play with this unicorn. You can play with this, cat right here. Boom.
Okay.
Are you still down, baby?
I mean, toys don't necessarily mean that you can parent a baby.
Okay, here, listen. All right, here's how you take care of a baby. Okay, you gotta feed it. Okay, you gotta give it a house. Okay, you gotta change its diaper. You gotta potty train it. That is how you raise a baby. Ain't that right?
Oh, okay, I'll give you that one. You got the basics.
I'm telling you, I know how to take care of a kid. Okay.
Your baby's literally crying right now?
Oh, wait, little cow. Where? Come on, let's go.
freaking out.
Let's go. Let's go. You're here to help me. Come on. already